Time for another video update. This is the more or less completed air conditioning system, which is now outside of the Toyota ECU's control. I've still got most of the safeties incorporated. Two of them I'm not worried about because they are that's just over the top in the case of what I want. So let's start by, first of all, the main thing that I need to do is control the AC or air conditioning compressor, which is tucked down there. Now, to turn it on and off, it's got a physical magnetic clutch. So once it has 12 volts sent to it, it locks the clutch up, and then the compressor then starts to compress the gases. It's got a reed switch in it which tells the ECU that the clutch is engaged, and on the Toyota it will then increase the revs so you don't have any problems with stall. Lucky enough, the VEMS ECU is quick enough for me that it reacts, and also because of the size of the engine and the torque, that little bit of a kick from the AC relay doesn't really affect it that much. So I don't need to worry about the fact that the computer needs to know that the air compressing is on, because the engine is big enough not to worry about that. Then we have the safeties. There's a high-low pressure switch, and it's incorporated into one little sensor, which is there. It's on the AC line. That will basically tell the air conditioning not to work if it's below, in other words, there's not enough gas in it, or it's working too hard and the condenser, which is tucked down there, is getting too hot and is not able to compress the gas enough, and it will switch off the air conditioning system until the pressure has gone down enough for it to operate. That's only one sensor, but this one performs two functions. It also will turn on when the pressure gets a little bit higher. It will actually also turn on, because there's two sensors in there, I'll show you in a second. It will turn on the compressor fan, or the condenser fan, which is this one. So effectively, you turn your air conditioning on, the compressor will start, things will go quietly chirp along. When it starts getting a bit hot and the pressure gets a little bit too high, it will then close the little sensor switch for the fans, or the fan. That fan will then come on. That should cool the condenser, and then everything's happy. That will continue to go until the sensor says no, I'm okay, and it opens the circuit again, which basically stops that fan. And that's a continuous cycle. If the pressure gets too high, the dual pressure switch will then shut off the air conditioning completely until it cools down enough, and then it will allow the compressor to engage again. I'll show you electronically. So this is one side of that sensor, and it will go low, high, and if they're all if the logic is true, it will then close this all up and allow the compressor to work. That is all done digitally in the ECU and the instrument cluster, because they share duties. Unfortunately, the instrument cluster ECU operates the climate control system. So through digital inputs, you actually get a feedback from the instrument cluster to say yay, and that will be on the circuit. That little LED will light up, and I'll show you that soon. This is a digital switch which just basically goes, press it and it will say yes, please have some air conditioning. Press it again and it will turn it off. It's not a latch-in switch, it's literally just a momentum switch, so it doesn't actually latch on, latch off, the same as your demister on this side. What I've had to do is rewire this, and I'll show that in part 2 of the video. I've now got the climate control or air conditioning, or whatever you want to call it, connected up. Now it's not actually doing anything until I turn the ignition on. The ignition's now on, and if I press the AC switch, one light comes on. That will also operate can get it in there. That little relay. I'm not sure if you can hear that. Now, because the amount of current it draws, I've had to limit the current, feeding current. So there's, in this little wire there, there's a little resistor, 100 ohm, and that takes the voltage down to 4.9 volts, which is more than enough. I've still got the electronic control, or the ECU, from the instrument cluster controlling it. And if I turn the heater off, or the fan off, because obviously if there's no fan going on the airbox, then the air conditioning radiator inside will actually freeze up. So if I turn that off, that also switches off the aircon. If I turn it back on, it will come back on. So I've still got the safety side control of the Toyota ECU controlling whether or not it's happy, because my fan's on and off, to have the aircon on and off, which is pretty much standard on every car. So this reed relay, what it will do is it will actually control the air compressor pump relay through the Toyota ECU, relay station, which is under the bonnet, I believe. And I'll show that because I'll connect it up in a minute. All my connections are now joined together. I've got, temporarily until I get my Conosil 2-pin plug, I've got, this is coming from the pressure sensor under the bonnet. Once all the state of the normally open, normally closed sensors or switches are closed, so it's true, it means that this is coming, give me a 0 volt, and then it goes through the reed relay there, only if that is switched on, and that then goes to the relay which controls the air conditioning pump relay, which is under the bonnet. So by turning on, I don't know if you can hear that, but basically I'll try it again. You'll hear that switching on and engaging the clutch. Simple as that, really. And there we have it. That is the air conditioning now wired outside of the ECU's control down there. Oh, now to put it all back together. This is the last part of the air conditioning, all done. A few weeks ago, or last month, I had a friend come around, and he's an air conditioning engineer. He told me exactly what to do and what was wrong with the car. I've done some various repairs on small leaks, you can see it there. Anyway, so from Halfords you get the full kit, cost me 80 quid, but there's a £10 return on this bottle. The advantage for me now is that I've got the basic kit to keep topping up my air conditioning. My partner's air conditioning lasts about 6 months and that goes down, so we're going to treat this with a can of Super Seal, and I'm going to top it all up as per the instructions, so I'll keep all those. Anyway, so top up through the low pressure port, which is just there, and all of the wiring and connections are all done for the air conditioning climate control panel, just there. And if I just turn it on, currently 10 degrees. Switch on the fans, switch on the aircon. Aircon fan has just kicked in. Holding fire at about 2.5 degrees. The air conditioning pump is actually engaged. The VCU, the VEMS ECU is quick enough to react that, as you can see or hear, the engine is quite happy to have the aircon pump going without any problems. And as per normal safeties, if I turn the fan off, aircon turns off, and the engine also stops